So now we want to create our own patch. And for this, we click the Create button in the menu bar up here. And this will open the cables editor completely empty. And you see no operators here and nothing is drawn. So we want to create an op here. And you can do this by going to the menu and click Add. And you see a dialog. Or you can just press Escape and to open this dialog. And this dialog is a search. You can search for operators here. For example, if I search for circle, it shows me some operators. And the first one, we want to click the first one. So we want you can press Enter, or you can press Add. So I will press Enter, and we have a circle operator. But we don't see a circle drawn. So there's something missing. And if you want to create something with WebGL, you always need a main loop. A main loop is an operator that triggers every child 60 times per second. So you can create really smooth animations and stuff. The main loop is the thing that just starts drawing stuff and makes drawing possible. So you always need that if you want to do WebGL stuff. So I press Escape again and enter main. So you see it's already showing the main loop, and I can press Add, and it will create the main loop operator. So still we don't see anything. The thing is, you guessed it, you have to connect those both operators. So the WebGL stuff is always uses always the yellow ports. This is a function port to execute the operators. So I will connect those two. So now we see a circle. And you can click the circle operator and you can change the things in here and adjust them. So what this does is the main loop is executed 60 times per second, and then it goes to circle, and then it will actually draw a circle. If they are not connected, they will not draw the circle. So if you want to disconnect them, you can use your right mouse button to click on the port, and it will disconnect, and use the left button to connect it again. You can also just drag it on the operator and will connect to the nearest fitting port in this case. So I talked about ports. What are ports? Ports are those little things up here and down here. And if you click the circle, you see the same colors as the ports here. So these parameters are actually the ports you see here. And right now the render port is connected from the circle, and it goes to the main loop port. And the ports on the top are always the input ports. So this goes into the circle. So the circle knows, for example, how it gets drawn. And the output ports, they just output something. So we are not interested in this right now, but we are interested in this right now. Because when we can just drag it and release it in the emptiness, and then this dialog comes up, you can just start. So these are some suggestions what you could connect after the circle. You can also just press the plus button or just start typing, and you can again search for another op. So for example, now I want to create a rectangle. So I press enter and it creates a rectangle, and it's all already connected to the circle. And now I have a rectangle, and I can change the size of the rectangle. So the next thing I want to do is to set a color for them. So to set a color, we need to apply a material, and we need to apply this material in front of the circle or before the circle. And I will click this thing here, which is a helper to insert an operator between two already connected operators. So I click this and enter basic. This shows me the basic material, which is a simple material. I want to use this. And I click add, and you see it's connected between circle and main loop. So I inserted it before this. So now they are colored in a random color. You can click here to change this color, or you can, you can adjust the colors here. And there are a lot of more parameters, but we are not interested in this right now. So now we colorized both things, our circle and our rectangle. So now I want to change the color of the rectangle only. So I will make some space here, and I want to create another basic material in between those two. So now I have another basic material, and when I change the color of this, it will only change the color of the things that come after it, as you see. And so when I remove this, you would see the rectangle is already again drawn in the green color. So you can just take operator and shake it, and it will be unlinked, and cables will try to link the other ops, if that's possible, together. So yeah. And to reconnect it, I can drag it on this thing to insert it in between of those two again. So like this. So now we have two colored objects drawn on our screen. So the next thing I want to show is how to move them around. And to do this, there's an operator. I will insert it before all of this. The operator is called transform. And a transform operator transforms the object in space. And so now I inserted it, nothing changed, but you see here you have parameters like the position X and the position Y and position Z. And rotation, you can just rotate it in 3D, and it will rotate both of those objects. So, and if you set everything to 0, it's the same as before. So yeah, this is a transform thing. So and now, as you see, we transform both objects, the circle and the rectangle. If I want only to transform the rectangle, I will add another transform in front of this rectangle here. And when I rotate this, you see I will only rotate everything under the transform, so only the rectangle, and like this. But when I now change the parameters of the first transform, which is before everything else, it will still rotate both of them. So I can rotate the rectangle only with this, and everything else with this one. So what's when I only want to rotate the rectangle, but the circle, but not the rectangle? So you can disconnect the whole rectangle group here by pressing right mouse button on this render operator, and I will move them here, and now I can connect this whole group here, and now we have two groups here basically, and I can rotate this circle, and the rectangle is not influenced by this. And here I can rotate the rectangle. So, for example, I can also disconnect the whole circle thing and put it under here. And then I rotate the rectangle, and the circle will rotate with the rectangle. So there's a hierarchy when things are executed. So, yeah. To clean it up a bit, you can You can select operators, and you can press align horizontally, and then it will move all operators to one line. And you can, for example, select the operators for the rectangle and say compress, and it will compress them, make a little group, and you can differentiate them a bit better. Yeah, so this is the basic transform material thing. And yeah, we will continue.